Candy cane, are you there? Oh, I don't mean my candy cane. I mean yours. I'm John Recton with the retro review of Joyride from 2001, directed by John Dahl, who directed Rounders, also written by Clay Tarver and J.J. Abrams. Yes, that J.J. Abrams had something to do with this movie that somehow got stretched out to 3 movies. I don't understand how, even though the ending had a little bit of open-endedness, like, oh shit, they actually could do something with it. Yeah, they could drive the goddamn series that shouldn't have been a series into the motherfucking ground like they did with Candyman. And then eventually they did a sequel to Candyman that came out last year, and one hardly needs to go on at that point. Joyride, by the way, is a breezy movie about being careful who you prank, folks. If you get a CB radio, maybe don't play pranks on anybody, especially truckers that are lonely out on the road doing their job, because you could unleash a murderous rampage. Such is the case with Fuller, played by Steve Zahn, and Lewis, played by Paul Walker, and also Lily Sobieski is in this, and the trucker Rusty Nails, played by Ted Levine. So the music is also by Marco Beltrami, who I've absolutely loved the music, from him, from the Scream movies, and various other things. He just has this great way of adding atmosphere, even the movies like this. Now, Joyride isn't particularly bad. It kind of reminds me of The Hitcher, and if you've ever seen The Hitcher, yeah, it's not quite that violent, though there are a couple of instances where it's like, oh shit, there's actually some gory stuff here. There's also quite a bit of violence that happens off camera, and you just have to assume, because the budget really couldn't show it, like, oh god, this actually happened to this character, this happened to this person, wait, who the fuck's that? The movie isn't exactly, like, deep as far as a narrative or anything. You just have a couple brothers, one that has a checkered past, shall we say, Fuller, played by Steve Zahn. He's a bit of a criminal. And then you have Lewis, played by Paul Walker, who decides to go meet a friend of his, Venna, played by Lily Sobieski. Whatever happened to Lily Sobieski, by the way? Seemed like she was in a number of movies and then just suddenly vanished off. Like, is she not doing acting anymore? Did she decide to take more supporting roles? These are the questions I would like to know, or I would like answers to. Steve Zahn also is great in A Perfect Getaway and seemingly has not done all that much since. Paul Walker, unfortunately, we know what happened to him. Tragic end to his life. As we all know, though, in this movie, Paul Walker is very much alive and driving along the open roads and goes to get his brother and go get his friend that he really has a soft spot for, a very soft spot. I'm sorry, she has a soft spot. Moving on from that hastily inserted image. Wait, maybe I shouldn't say inserted right there. It's a road trip movie. And while these brothers are out on the road, Fuller decides to make good despite, the fact that he's really kind of an idiot, and decides to really get his brother in a whole lot of trouble because, again, he's an idiot and a freaking moron. He decides, hey, I'm going to get a CB radio, and let's play a prank on a guy. Let's just do this, and let's pretend to be truckers and do the CB stuff. Since we're all out on the roads, we want to make sure we avoid cops. Oh, okay, cool. Also, it turns out that this car that Paul Walker bought, it turns out to have a broken taillight. He decided to trade in a plane ticket. Apparently, plane tickets reward you enough money to buy a used car back in 2001. But he has a broken taillight, is what it is. Cop tells him about it, but hey, he's just going to keep going on. And apparently no other cops notice this or care, and he has his brother. They play this prank on a guy named Rusty Nail. He tells Lewis, hey, pretend to be somebody, just come up with this. Come up with a woman's voice. And does that, pretends to be Candy Cane, does all this stuff, and they decide, hey, let's do this, let's have him meet us at a hotel or whatever, and let's have him bring a bottle of pink champagne. This will be funny, this will be hilarious. Well, they decide to do that after Fuller's character runs into a very, very, very racist business guy at the hotel and figures, hey, this will be a two for one special. We can play a prank on the trucker, and we can scare the racist guy. Well, Rusty Nail, turns out, may have been a murderer in a previous and also this life, and probably the next 5 lives that he decides to have, in case you believe in that. And he's just using this life to basically murder people. He is tired of being picked on. You never know what you're going to trigger with people. And it turns out the cops end up greeting this, talking to the brothers. They end up finding this guy out on the median of the highway. He was on the highway, and his jaw decided to fall off. Actually, he ripped it, and the guy's in a coma now. Well, at least he's not going to be able to be racist anymore. But Rusty Nail ends up pursuing him, ends up chasing him down. which was kind of hilarious. They pull off on this like gas station. They pull off the freeway to this gas station that just happens to be right off the freeway. I used to work at one of those, and believe me, yeah, you get some weird ass people. You don't get truckers necessarily bursting through, but you do get some weird ass people trying to get gas at night, and they end up getting gas, and they end up finding Lewis pays with a credit card, and this truck just starts chasing after him. What the hell is going on? It's this guy in this ice truck. Holy shit! They decide, it's like, Fuller's like, oh, I've got a gun, and I've got a MasterCard. It turns out that Lewis left his card. So the guy said, after talking about, thank you, you'll have a good night now. And then he's going to leave. He decides to back up the truck. He's about to go, and suddenly Rusty Nail bursts through with his 18-wheeler and just busts through that ice truck. We're no longer going to have Chill Factor. At least we won't have Chill Factor 2. Electric Ice Boogaloo. And I don't know how in the world Rusty Nail found him. I don't know how how 18-wheelers are built to be on that many dirt roads and do all that and not get damaged at all. Big of a rig as it was. And he busts him up against a tree after they get stuck. It's like, we were just playing with you, man. It was just a laugh. I'm sorry. It's like, well, I was just playing with you, man. And then that's it. Movie over, folks. Movie over. That's it. Oh, no, it's not. They get the car fixed. They fix the taillight. They have a laugh. They go to get Venna, and she has a friend named Charlotte, a roommate. She's going to be her roommate in the coming year in college. Hooray! We probably could get maybe that movie. Maybe that's Joyride, too. We get Venna and Charlotte sharing certain college, exploits. Moving on from that. Everybody's happy. They're out drinking and everything and doing whatever at the bar. And then Rusty Nail finds them. I thought you said there wasn't a girl. Well, there is a girl. They play dumb even though there is a girl. Well, why is she in the hotel, the room next door with your brother? Oh, no. They found him. They've been found. They've been all discovered. It's so ridiculous because somehow he keeps finding them. And I don't understand how he keeps finding them. I mean, it is what it is. And I don't mean my candy cane, I mean yours. He's basically like, hey, you know how they identify a body? Well, they cut off the fingers, and they cut off this and everything, and that's what they did. What ends up happening, basically, is they cut off fingers, they take the jaw off. Well, it turns out that he somehow managed to get Venna's roommate, Charlotte, and she's captured, and he says, if you want her alive, you gotta do exactly what I do. He decides to play a prank on them, go into this diner naked, order cheeseburgers, and then tells Venna, hey, this is what you need to do. Tells her that off camera, and then it turns out they gotta go down this road, they gotta go to this cornfield, truckers of the corn, Rusty Nail, Kai, and suddenly the truck just bursts through and starts going through the cornfield and everything. I mean, I guess there are other ways that you could, flatten corn. Why not do it with a diesel-powered 18-wheeler? It's like, using Kevin Nash to do it, except you're not tearing your quad while doing that. So, they get, they get separated in there because you got to keep them separated. Hey. Venna gets captured. She gets put in a hotel. And he does this elaborate thing, like of taping her up and, taping this shotgun aimed at her face to the doorknob, where if the doorknob's turned, oh no, it's going to fire right into her face. And he's nailed the chair to the floor, and she's done and all this. And, well, it seems like she's fucked. They have to go through all these hotels, go to room 17, because that guy was in room 17. Well, they forgot they were in room 18. That's where they should have gone first. Oh no. They manage to get to the hotel, and they're talking to Rusty Nail and all this stuff, and then Fuller decides to be the hero, finally. He needs to be a hero at the end of the film. He's got to be strong, he's got to be tough, but he gets a pipe through his shin. Oh, wait, it's actually his thigh. So let's get away from that song. He ends up trying to burst through, or, get to the back window with a very, very junky back alleyway. I mean, my God, there were so many old mattresses and stuff like that. Had people never heard of going to the dump? I can't imagine the dump would have been that far away. Dig a hole out there in the middle of nowhere and dump your shit and burn it. Maybe give the mattresses to that, coyote that's speeding past trying to chase the roadrunner. I don't know. But that was really, really junky for no reason. So Rusty Nail bursts through the window, drags him through, and he's like yelling at Lewis, don't open the door, because the shotgun thing there is aimed. And we see, the next time we see Fuller, he has a pipe through his leg and he's caught and everything, and Rusty Nail's suddenly doing this, and he's bearing back down, he's driving around, he's going to drive back. Well, the cops got called by Rusty Nail. I'd like to report some dead bodies, he says. And what ends up happening is Lewis manages to save Venna just in time. Save for just in time. But the cops are telling him, hey, stay down, don't do this. We don't know what the hell's going on. He rushes out the window. They don't shoot at him. He manages to save Fuller just in time. Okay, I'm done. And the truck just bursts through the goddamn thing. Well, Rusty Nail really put himself at risk. What the fuck is he actually doing? Well, they find Charlotte. And it's good Charlotte. It is, since she was driving a BMW, I guess it would be Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous. And she is contained in this, okay, I can't do any more of that stuff right there. My song references, folks. Everybody's safe. And then suddenly, they say, hey, did you find out who the guy was? Oh, yeah, some guy that ran, drove an ice truck. Ice truck? Well, that was the truck from earlier. Can't possibly be the same guy. Rusty Nail's voice is heard on there, so Rusty Nail lives. Where the hell did he go? I don't goddamn know. Seriously, where the hell did he go? Where did he go? Like, where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did you come from, Rusty Nail Joe? I mean, where the hell did you come from? And where did you go? Like, he just suddenly vanished? Like, a lot of wide open spaces, as the Dixie Chicks once said. Where in the world's he at? So, yeah, at least it opened to number 2 and 3, which I have not seen. I don't think I'm gonna watch them. But Joyride, yeah, it was acceptable. It wasn't great. But at least this was back, of course, when, Paul Runner was safe in cars. So anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.